Hey everybody, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you are. It is Friday the 24th of February, and that music is really loud in my ears. Let me turn that down a bit. And we are back for another week of working on our Django app, and hopefully this time getting React going in it. I had some luck. I messed around with it some and had some luck getting things to work. So hopefully we'll be able to get even more done this week. But before we jump into that, how's everybody doing? Say hi in the chat if you can see me, if you can hear me. Just need to know that things are working. It looks like they are. My computer tells me everything's working, but that doesn't mean a lot. I don't trust computers. So, yeah, how's everybody doing? I see our numbers are climbing up to our normal audience level. Pause is here, over there on Beam, hanging out. I need to get some custom emotes set up in Beam. That'd be a fun thing to have. I need to do a lot more with Beam. I haven't done nearly enough on there yet. So that'll be fun once that gets going. How about YouTube land? Anybody actually able to see me in YouTube? We were having some issues with it last week. It looks like it's working this week, but always good to have confirmation on that. And then we'll start talking about what it is that we did and what it is that we hope to do this week. I don't have a large amount of expectations for this week. I just want to get like one or two things working, and I'll be happy. But we'll see how it's going. Yeah, chat is weird. I don't seem to be getting any. I'm gonna restart my chat thing. Give me just a second here, because I don't seem to be getting any chat from YouTube if it's coming in. I also wish this thing would remember where it was. It's really annoying that it's just kind of, yeah, it doesn't show up. So yeah, if somebody from YouTube can drop a message into chat real quick, that'd be a big help. There we go. I can see some now. All right, I can see Daryl. I can see Roller Angel. I can see Suleiman. Everybody's here. Nice. All right. So, good morning again. Now that I know chat is working. Software. Software's the worst. All right, so last week, if you watched, we were trying to get React working, and we were having all sorts of issues getting React up and running with our stuff. We tried this Babel thing, or not Babel, sorry. We tried this Bower, that's it, this Bower thing, and that wasn't working for us. And then we tried this Webpack thing. We didn't have any luck on it. All the tutorials I found were kind of old. So this week I managed to sit down. I say this week, this morning, I managed to sit down and dig through and figure out what was wrong. So let's talk a little bit about what changed. And I want to open up, what is that config file? I can't remember the name. So I'm just going to pull it open. Package, that's it. All right, so we added a couple of things. I added in these two things right here, which are the Babel preset ES 2015 and React. I added in the React hot loader and the Webpack dev server. We'll come back to them in a minute. But so these two presets here, they let me do this thing here, which that tells the Babel loader to use like ES 2015 and React rules as best I could understand it, so that it would know how to compile those files, right? And then we had to add in a couple other things. So anyway, so we did that and we got thing loading. Woo, look at that. That's cool. But then to add in a nice new bit to where we don't have to like refresh the page all the time. We don't have to keep updating stuff all the time like manually. I added in this Webpack hot load server thing. Hot load is an unfortunate name there. Hot module replacement, that's it. So we have this server.js, which this could probably be cleaned up better. I don't know what I'm doing there. So, and so we have this file, and this defines this Webpack dev server, which goes to this public path that we want, and it does hot reloading, and it does inline replacement. And that runs on port 3000. So now when we have that running, and we have these 2 bits right here, what's cool is we have a server running right here. You can see it's been compiling stuff. And so whenever one of our files changes, the server recompiles it live. And then what's really cool is it swaps in this stuff. So like I'm going to move this to the side real quick. And I'm going to come over here to app.js, and I currently have it saying feelings. So then let's change that. So it says, I don't know, hi, y'all. And I'll save. And if everything keeps working as it has been, maybe I need to refresh this time. Oh no! Really? Soon as I go live, it stops working? Okay, there we go. Now it says compiled. There we go. Now it says hi, y'all. So I should be able to change this, though. And save it. And it live refreshes right there. So that's awesome. That's cool. That's going to hopefully save us a lot of time, trouble, and frustration. Because we'll get to see stuff live, right? So that's cool. That's awesome. I don't know that we need stuff out here as far as React goes, but I have to admit I don't know a ton about React, so y'all get to learn this along with me. So welcome. Let's worry less about this being a single page app, and let's worry more about getting this just to where we have certain elements being controlled by React coming from the API. Okay? And if this completely fails, then I don't know. We'll figure out some other step. So what I want to do, I think, is it's not dashboard. What's the thing? Dashboard. Oh, it's users dashboard. Okay. So what I'm thinking I want to do, at least to start with, is to just try and get this thing right here into React. Okay? So right now we have this, it's being pulled in through Django, and I want to try and get this to work through React. And I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So I hope that somebody, one of y'all, is going to be able to help me. So, are y'all ready for this? I see there's a lot of chat going on about Treehouse that I'm not going to weigh into. So, yeah. And, yeah. So, let's see what we can do. So, I think one of the things that I need is I either need to do this without, let me try to find where it is, because I had a tab open with this in it. The problem is I have a lot of tabs open, as you can see. So trying to find the one that I think this is the one that I was looking for. Yeah, I don't care too much about that stuff. Yeah, see, like, this is the part that I'm looking more for. But I have to know, like, which thing I'm using. Okay, I don't necessarily want to do that. Okay. All right, let's keep looking through this stuff here. Because what I'm hoping for, Django channels and Redux, that'd be fun. That's a way later thing. I don't care about Angular at the moment. All right. Somebody recommended this one to me, which, let's see. I want to look at how they're doing their JavaScript. All right, so let's see. So they've got, like, main section. So they import to-do item, they import footer, and then they've got these things. Main section extends component, prototypes. So to-dos, we have an array. I remember this. From my little bit of learning here. Okay, so they render the thing, and then they render this section, class name equals main, render the toggle all, then they have a to-do list, and then for each to-do list, they render this to-do item thing, and then they render footer. Okay. That's a step. Let me look through what else is in here. More about Webpack. What game am I downloading on Steam? Well, it's paused right now, so nothing. No, so it's Total War Warhammer, I think. I just got it in, like, the Humble Bundle thing. Okay. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to do components, from how I understand this. And I have a feeling I want to do React Router as well. Or maybe it's Redux Router that I want to do. Sorry, I'm just digging through all these tabs that I have open, because for some reason I have like 8,000 tabs, which isn't a great idea, but, you know, you do what you can. All right, you know what? Let's try this. So, let's figure out what I want to do here. Okay. So, var home, right? So that's the kind of thing I'd want to do. But what I've got right now, if we look at this index, right? Because that's the one that I'm, close that. That's the one that I'm serving up whenever I pull up main. So we're over here. We're actually not over here. We're over here. Anonymous user object has no attribute company invite received. Oh, we have a bug in our code. Where is this? Group tags. If context user dot is authenticated. There's a underscore in there, right? Then we want to do that. Okay. And we probably want to do that here too. If context user is authenticated. Then do that. Vinay, it's been about 15 minutes since it started. Okay, cool. So we don't get any... We really shouldn't even show those things. Let's fix that too real quick. I know I'm doing stuff that's not... that's not Django, but whatever, that's fine. Add bar left, drop down, drop down. Okay, so these are the two things that I want to hide. So if request.user.is authenticated. All right, and then indent all of that. And then indif. All right, so since I'm logged out, yeah, I shouldn't even see those. I should just see login and sign up. Cool. Okay, great. So we've got something that's closer to working. And then I have a thing on not this page. It was on index.html. All right, so we added this load render bundle, and then we added this div ID React app. Okay, so let's move that over to our dashboard page. So we need to move that over, and then we need to move these two blocks over. And we'll just do them up here because it doesn't matter where we do them. And then take out that and bring that over here. All right. So let's do it. Let's do it inside this container. I think what I actually probably want to do once I figure out the component-y thing is we'll strip out all of these rows and columns and all that stuff, and then we'll just put we'll put them inside the components, right? It seems maybe a little weird, but I think that's what we want to do. Okay, so let's start with we've got app.js. Close that. Close that. Okay. So we've got this app.js that we've imported, and we're rendering app right there because we imported app right there, right? So really what we should be able to do take all of that. Let's go in here. And I think what we can do is we can do const. Let's see. Let me go look over here at this because I know somebody did this. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that stuff yet because I don't understand the component bits, so we'll get there in a bit. Index route. All right, that's not what I'm looking for either. There, that's closer to what I'm looking for. Right? So right, so then we have this class, and then we have this root element. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay. So class root element. extends react.component. All right. And then, so we've got this display name, which I don't even know where that comes in. Let's not worry about that for right now. Okay, so then we just make this render function. And then inside here is where we return all of our HTML. Let's just start with this row. Let's try just that one. That's not where I wanted it. I wanted it here. Okay, so we have this class equals row. We have all of that stuff. Okay, so now instead of app, we should do root element. And I think these all have to be class name. And then some of that stuff obviously isn't going to show up. It's not going to work right because it doesn't know what this stuff is, right? Okay, so now let's come over here. Let's log in. Nope. CSS shows up more than once. You're right, it does. Look at that. Okay. Refresh. Webpack. Something failed in Webpack. Okay, so it doesn't know what that thing is. Which, yeah, that's fine. You shouldn't have to know what that thing is. Okay, let's just take that out. Let's 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 just say form here. And then delete everything inside those quotes. Delete everything inside that tag and just say time here. Okay. And there's our thing that says recent thoughts, and there's our time here. So, cool. We have something that's working, right? We've got a thing. Now it's not doing all that we want, but it's doing a thing. So, we got to figure out how to get all of those items into there. So, what I want to do instead of this is this needs to now be a thing that we import. So, let's say like import thought. So we probably want to bring in like components of to some degree. So because we want to bring in a thing that we can just toss like inside here somewhere, right? So let's just say import thought from thought. And then we're going to make a new file, which is going to be thought.jsx. That's in the right place. Okay. And then let's copy a lot of that into there. And then I also want to copy this into here. So I have it as a thing to look at. And what I need to export, I need to do like module.exports React.create class. I don't know if this is right or not, but we'll find out. No, I need to do module.exports equals this, and then we say thoughts and thoughts. And then this is our new component here, which we call this thoughts. And this is going to return there's that div, there's that div, there's that div. That looks right. So then, let's see, there was this one over here where we had this display name thing, right? So let's put that into like here. Static. And let's just call this title. Recent thoughts. And then if I'm, whoa. If I remember correctly, this would be like title? Does this whole thing need to be inside of a div for it to be happy? I guess so. Okay. So if we do that, and then we take that out, and here we do thought. And then we come back over here and we refresh. Sweet, something broke. It failed at title. Unexpected token. But I'm doing the same thing here. Still unexpected token. Oh, wait. Should this be colon? No, that's an equal sign. Okay, so there's something. It didn't do what I wanted, but there's something. All right. Inspect. How do I dock this again? Dock this on the bottom. There we go. IT Dream. This over here isn't HTML. This is JSX, which is this weird amalgamation between JavaScript and HTML, or really JavaScript and like SGML, or maybe just XML. I don't know. Whatever. And then everything else that we're doing is Python. Yeah. Okay. Element type is invalid. Expected a string or class function but got object. Check the render method of root element. Oh, that's thoughts, not thought. That fails too. Okay. Okay, so I'm obviously missing something in here. Let's figure out what I'm missing. So if I look here, I've got this loading component, which... Where did loading component came from here? title is not defined. Okay, so we're a step closer. And now it doesn't like that. Which is weird because I just did a thing. What was that? It was like display name. Yeah, it doesn't like the equal sign. But that's what they've got right here. But nowhere in there do they show display name. So, okay. Let's just ditch that and put in recent thoughts again. And if we come back over here, I'll reload. Unknown DOM property, date time. Did you mean date time? I didn't, but thank you. Cool. Chris Huey, what repo or tutorial am I following? So it's not a repo or a tutorial, actually. Jack McCloy did a talk at DjangoCon last year about using Django and React, and he linked to a couple of different these three here. He linked to a couple of different gists of code to kind of show off things. I'm just kind of looking through it to figure out what's going on here. I don't actually have like a good tutorial that I've found yet. Now, that's not to say his tutorial wasn't good. His tutorial was great. The problem is just that you need to know a little bit in order to do other stuff. And so it just takes a bit longer to get, you know, some of these things working. So right now I'm just kind of plugging some stuff together, right? And I'm getting something, sorta. You can tell though I've got just a ton of tabs open that I've been kind of hopping back and forth between. So yeah. I'm kind of just figuring out what goes where as best I can. But okay, let's go back over here to this. So we've got that, right, which shows our time here. I've got this unknown DOM property, which is true. I'm just gonna take that out actually because it doesn't matter. And look at that. Now we don't get any things. Consider using the named modules plugin for module names. What's the name? Okay, not going to look that up. I don't know what the named modules plugin is, and I'm not going to look it up. If anybody wants to look it up for me, then go for it. But yeah, so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get the these things to render. Okay, so I want to actually rename this. Refactor, rename, and I don't want to call it thought.js. Let's call it recent thoughts. Because that way it is, hey, thanks for that. That is correctly named, right? Okay, so then what I want to do is inside here, let's make a new one here. Let's actually call this recent thoughts there. And let's call this recent thoughts and recent thoughts. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know I'm going to have some other naming in here, and I want to make sure that the naming makes sense. Okay, so let's make a new class here that is just called thought, which extends react.component. And then inside here, I want that. So render, and then return, and then paste. And this should be a div. I have a feeling that's not right. What am I supposed to be in here? So this is for each thought. Div class equals list group item. Yeah, something got screwed up here. Okay, so it should be div class name equals list group item. And then inside there, we should have that one. And then inside the H4, the H4 should be list group item heading. So this should be H4. And inside of there, we should have the time, and then we should have the condition display, which we're going to have to fetch that from the API somewhere. And then if there's notes, we should list the notes. Okay, so I want to do that, and then thought display would be there, and then notes, and then that div closes, right? Yeah, okay. So then inside here, I know we do a thing with map. Main section. There was an example in here, I think. Yeah, so we have this filtered to-dos here. So what we want to do is and we have to figure out what we're going to call this. So let's just call this, say, thoughts.map thought, and then fat arrow for a function. And then inside that fat arrow, this is where we would do thought. And we'll say key equals thought.id. Let's not worry about the rest of that stuff. And then close that, and then close that. Okay, so there's that. But now we don't have thoughts inside here, right? So you see how there's this thing here? This constant filtered to-dos equals to-dos.filter. Hey, Zed, I have not seen your pull request. I will look in just a minute. And hey, Eugene, how are you doing? All the way from South Africa. So that's coming in as props. How do we get the props? Because I think to get the props... Okay, so here we go. Static prop types, we've got to-dos right there. Constructor, props come in like that. So that's when we create this main section thing here, right? What am I looking for? Root? Store this dot props, store equals store, and then to do app comes in from to do app. Okay. So component did mount. This is once the thing is loaded. then it runs this action, which is going to be this.props.actions.getToDos. And I'm going to guess that came in from there. Okay, so let's look at that in to-do actions. Get cookie, get to-dos. There we go. Okay. Fetch URLs to-do list. Credentials, same Oregon. Same origin. Okay, so that's close to what we want to do right there. Chris, I'm not using Redux. Not yet. I'm probably going about this the absolute wrong way. Honestly. But, yeah, I'm just kind of going through what I understand right now. If you know what's going on, Chris, and you want to help out, I highly suggest hopping over to Beam, because you'll be able to type faster, or we'll have less between us, less delay, and then we can totally start trying to figure this out, because I'd love some help on this. Okay, so thoughts is going to be like that. I'm going to go back to what this thing was looking like. Components, main section, and I had this prop types thing, right? So let's just try adding that. And this will be thoughts, prop types, .array.is required. And I had to import prop types from somewhere, right? Yeah, that comes from React. And that's kind of nice because then I can just do that and just extend component. Failed to compile because it doesn't like that thing. Why? Why doesn't it like that? Okay, so let's look up React components. Yeah, Akash, go ahead and ask whatever it is you'd like to ask. Okay, I feel like I've looked at this before. Okay. That doesn't look super useful to me. That looks like just a bunch of stuff I could install. Yeah. Okay. Cool. But not, I think, what I need right now. Yeah. Not gonna worry about those things. Okay. So let's That's that. That's that. So I could take out that, and it's probably going to still not compile. No, it does compile. Okay. But when I refresh this, there's not going to be anything there because it doesn't have any. Right? We're going to create a type is invalid, expected a string, built-in components, or a class function got undefined. You likely forgot to export your component from the file it's defined in. Check the render method. Yeah, so let's undo some of this. Delete that. App is up to date, but nothing shows up. Something's still wrong. Thoughts is not defined. Right, it's not. Be true. So in the parent component, is there an action being called in either component will mount or component did mount? If so, then you pass that data to the component via props. Thoughts data equals data. And now in your thoughts component, you have access to data via const data this dot props. Okay, and we've got a Rails, meets React sample.pdf. Cool, I'll check this out. Anatomy of the React component. Yeah, okay, so be chewy, let's see here. In the parent component, is there an action being called in either component will mount or component did mount? Okay, so let me show you what we've got here, okay? So, and you tell me what I'm missing. So this is our index. This is our root element. All right. So this root element gets rendered right here, and that's it. That's all it does. So I could add in here like component will mount or did mount, right? And then we can do like alert hi. And if I remember correctly, that'll do a thing. Which actually it probably won't now because of this thing. Yeah, and so then we've got hi. And yeah, there's no React at this point. I'm happy to put in React, or Redux. I don't know enough about Redux though at this point to just be like, here's what I do. So component did mount. So what I want to do here is I want to go and fetch things from the API, right? So let's see how to do that. Not that. React, Django, REST framework. Because I know there's like some sort of fetch thing. Look at all this stuff that's posted here. So yeah, there's Axios, there's fetch. Fetch seems to be one that people like. I've seen that mentioned several times. Seems to work everywhere. A window.fetch polyfill. Okay. Okay, let's see. Come over here, terminal. Let's do npm install wattwg fetch save, because we're going to need to have this around. Okay. And then we need to go to our webpack thing, our webpack config, and in the entry, Entry. Okay, we've got that. We want to add WhatWG fetch. You've used Axios before? All right, I'm going to try fetch real quick, and if fetch doesn't work, then I'll pop out. I'll hop onto Axios real quick. Okay, so we compiled. Let's see. Would we see the what thing in there? I don't know if we would or not. URL. Okay. So let's not worry about that for right now. Ooh, man, do I have a lot of stuff open. There we go. Okay. So let's try. Where was fetch? Here's fetch. Okay. So do I need to... I need to import fetch. Okay. Okay, so then up here I would do like import fetch from WhatWG-fetch. Okay, and then here let's do like var user equals fetch. Oh, we got too much stuff open. Okay. One, some that API/users. Right? Yeah. So this would be API users. Console.log user. Just to see what that's going to do, if anything. From I fixed that. WG-fetch2.default is not a function. Let's just change that back over to what it was. Import WhatWG-fetch. Okay, and so we get a promise here, and we got a forbidden, which that makes sense because I'm guessing fetch doesn't have my session that I'm hanging in here. Akash, yes, we are mixing in more than just Python. We're doing Python and JavaScript for the most part. Okay, so how can we use fetch to do... I need to do login. Oh, okay, there we go. Let's try that. So we fetch, and we tell it what URL to fetch. And then we can say credentials, same origin. All right. And then let's refresh this. There's our promise. Did we get back anything? Just waiting on something to show up there. See if we need to do that with .json instead. Okay, it looks like we have to do a full reload now that we have the thing in. Okay, we got a 200. Our body is a readable stream. which that's cool, I guess. Status text was 200. All right. All right, we're going to cookie. Other cookies won't get sent. For cores, which we're not doing cores. Okay. So that got a lot of what we wanted to do. So, okay, there we go. Then we've got the then. All right, that's what we want to do. So let's not even do that. Let's just have the fetch. And then here we do that then. Y'all see how often I've played with futures or promises in Python. Console.log response. Let's just see what's in there. And then here, let's not worry about that. Okay, so where are we at? We're here. Refresh. And check it out. We got a response. And let's look at our body. Readable stream, whatever that is. We got our headers. What do we get when we try to go to that window or to that URL? We should see the JSON. Okay. Conky asks, what is promise? So a promise in JavaScript and other programming languages is a pretty cool little thing. It's basically a promise that something's going to happen. So you fire off a function. The function's like, cool, I'll get back to you. I'm gonna do something and I'll get back to you. Just hold on to this pointer. So you hold on to this pointer, the promise, and eventually the promise gets fulfilled, and you either get a response back or you get an error back. So, yeah. Let's see, response dot body 0 dot username. Response.val or response.value. Could be. Okay. Let's try that. Let's just see what I get in value. Undefined. Response.val. Undefined. See, because if I look at the value here, I get body, right? So it seems to me like body would be the thing that I want to look at. That just gives me readable stream. All right, well, let's find out what that is. JavaScript readable stream. Stream from Node. Cool. Retrieve data from a readable stream object. Okay. So we're doing fetch and fetch readable stream. Body API reference. Okay. So then we need to call, okay, like .json on it. Okay. So let's see what happens if we do that. There we go. Refresh. Again, I have a thing. Okay, but then there's that. There's that. Okay. So can I do like that and have a thing? No, I get undefined on that. Okay. So let's look over here. Okay, body used, whether or not the body's been read. Okay. Array buffer takes a response stream and reads it to completion. It returns a promise that resolves with an array buffer. Okay. To a JSON object. So that's what I want. I want a JSON object. Okay, so I would want to do like return response.blob or response.json, I suppose, right? Okay, so then return response.json, and then we can do another then function JSON, and inside there we're going to have something. Let's just do console.log JSON. All right. Let's see what that does. Object. Oh my god. And it's an array, and it's got our thing. So that's got our user in it, right? Okay, so I could... You there, Be Chewy? How do I then take that user, or take that response that I got there, and assign that as a prop to what I'm rendering? Pass that data to the component via props. Data equals data. And now in your thoughts component, you have access to data via const data this.props. Okay. So it feels like I would set this up some here with like, I have something up here that was like const data this.props. Does that fail? See, that immediately fails. It feels like that shouldn't fail. Like, that seems really weird that that's failing. Speed dial chalkers. Yeah, I mean, like, I could, but at the same time, let's see if, hold on, I will, I'm not gonna text chalkers, but I'm gonna see if, James Churchill is online, because James has done a large amount of React stuff, so I'd love to see his, I'd love to see what he has to say. Okay, so let's see. James. All right. Hey, can you hop on the stream? HTTPS : // Sometimes phones are not at all great at this. Beam.pro /Treehouse. Cool. So hopefully James will be able to hop on in a second. All right, so Be Chewy, you've come back. You've said you need to have component state. Okay. So I've got too much stuff in this window. We're going back over to here. React component state. React.component, React state, component state with set state. Oh, I don't want a video. Okay. We were looking at this a while ago. So, build initial constructor in parent component. So, over in here, constructor props, super props, this.state equals color, blah, 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 and parent component. Let's see, can I do like this dot user equals that, and then here, you had something that you posted a while ago. Data equals data. in root element. Okay. So I need to put like this stuff into root element. So let's just say like user equals props dot user. Does that compile? That compiles successfully. Okay. So then from over here, I shouldn't see anything new or weird or broken, except that something's broken. User is not defined in root element. That'd be like this dot state dot user. No, this dot set state. I know I've seen that one before. Hold on. Okay, get initial state. So like get initial state would probably be the thing that I'd run. Like I could do that over here to fetch the thoughts, right? Like take that out. Get initial state. And then this is where I do like the fetch thing. Oh, I'm not saying that the this.user is correct. It's probably wrong. But seems like I could do something like this where it was like thoughts. Let's see, what's our API for that? Our API for that is, can I just do /thoughts and that gives me all of my thoughts? Yep. Okay. Thoughts. .json, same response, return that. Okay, I just want to console.log that for right now. And that shouldn't do anything there. And then let's take this off, because I don't think I actually need that. Get initial state was defined on recent thoughts, a plain JavaScript class. This is only supported for classes created using the React.create class. Did you mean to define a state property instead? Okay. So that means this, I would need to do something like this. So I want to do like recent thoughts. Stop for a second. Thoughts equals React.create class. And then it'd be like get initial state, function, and then a comma, and then render, function, right? Wait a minute, is it create uppercase? Nope, lowercase. Why is that? Oh. I have to close the parentheses. Okay, so then... Okay, so that loads, and then we've got our object, right? Okay, thoughts is not defined. Thoughts is not defined somewhere. Where's thoughts not defined? Not doing anything with thoughts in there. So thoughts is not defined in here. Is this the part that it's not complaining about? Okay. So what I want to do there is I want to just return those things that are coming back. So that's the array. I want to just return that. So I don't even need that part. I just need that. And then this function, we do return thoughts. Thoughts? I don't think that's quite right. Okay, so now it'd be this dot state dot thoughts. This dot state dot thoughts. What if we just did this? Nope. Must return an object or null. Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Console.log thoughts. That's not what I want to do, because that is the same as having thoughts.json is not a function. You're right. I get undefined because it's still a promise at that point. So if I got initial state like this, and I just returned a thing, right? So like, let's just return name Kenneth. And then down here, which let's just do that. And then down here, I did like this dot state dot name. Come over here, refresh. Oh, comma. Okay, so there's my name. Okay, so we know that it's working by passing the thing in, right? Okay. So now let's try this, and let's fake thoughts. Thoughts is a list, and inside here is going to be ID 2, and display is happy. Okay. And then here we'd want to do this dot props dot display, and we'd need our constructor. And you were saying that this would take props, and then we would do super props scroll back up here in the chat to the thing that you were talking about before. Wait, where did that go? There it is. Constructor props, super props, and then this dot whatever, this dot state equals display props dot display. That's enough for now. Okay. And then this would be this dot state, not this dot display. Which isn't working. Oh, wait. That's because I'm not rendering the thing. Okay, so let's bring this code back. Okay, so it still says notes, but we didn't pass in the data. So data equals thought. Okay, so for each thought that's in thoughts, we have the thought.id. Okay, so let's just try this. Display thought.display. Oh man! There we go. Now it says happy. All right, cool. So, okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right. So, that's got us a fake thought, right? We need to get like a real thought. Can I just do data is thought like that and then pull that apart? Like that? Yeah. Okay, so that got that back out. That's more useful. Okay. So now I just need to get this out. And this has me somewhat lost. Okay. Can we just do this? Var thoughts. And then thoughts equals response.json. Cannot read property map of undefined. Okay, let's go back on this. Return. Then function data thoughts equals data. I don't think that'll do it, but let's find out. Okay. Console.log data. Object, blah, 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 blah. So, they're there. Why is that not working? Referred to as props.data? Oh, I think you're just catching up to what I was doing a while ago. Okay. I would think this would let it hoist back out, right? I've defined thoughts, and then we run fetch, and we go and get this thing. And then with that response, what if we get this as just text? What comes out of that? Okay, so it's a whole bunch of text, which we could then parse into JSON, right? What is it? JavaScript, JSON. There's what I'm looking for. Okay. So console.log json.parse data. Okay. What comes out of that? Should be, again, an array of stuff. Yep. Okay. There's our array of stuff. And then we console.log. Actually, let's do console.table output. All right, refresh that. Hey, look at that. There's our stuff. And it looks like good, normal, everyday stuff. Sorry, just checking on James. I'm hearing part of what you're saying. Stream keeps crashing. Smash dev. Okay, have you tried defining a component did mount method? Not on this one. Smash dev is James, by the way, so say hi to another Treehouse teacher, everybody. I have this component did mount, which is just fetching this user. Which I don't need this anymore, actually. So I'm just going to comment that out. But I could bring that over to here, I suppose, and do component did mount instead of get initial state. But it seems like I would want to do get initial state. I don't know. I'll try anything. Okay, so let's refresh that. And that's failing because it doesn't know what thoughts is. Which means the component didn't mount. So that didn't work. Let's come back to our thoughts as empty list thing. Empty list. Empty array. That still didn't work. ID 1. What do we call that? Display. This dot state. Add another constructor to recent thoughts and have a this.state equals thoughts null, and then in the last then do a this.setState thoughts response by. Yeah, that's worth a try. So we'd have constructor is function. And then this dot state equals dots null. Okay. And then inside component did mount, move your fetch call into component did mount. It's in there. Okay. And then when promise revolves, call set state. Okay. So this dot set state's the one that I don't remember how to use. Set state. Next state and a callback. Okay, so I just pass in a dict. Okay. So this dot set state thoughts output. And get rid of that. And get rid of that. I don't suppose I actually need those, right? Class interface. You're attempting to define constructor on your component more than once. No, I'm not. Okay, let's take this out and let's just do the component did mount bit and just see what happens there. Still fails. Cannot read property thoughts of null. Module build error, syntax error, super outside of function or class. Well, I'm pretty sure that's a function, and I'm pretty sure I created a class, but whatever. Okay. See, I'm still not sure where this thing is failing. Cannot read property thoughts of null. This dot state doesn't exist? This dot state is null? Do will mount instead of did mount. Okay. Let's go back to our console here. Uncaught in promise type error cannot read property set state of undefined. Render goes before did mount, and the initial state of this dot states is null. It goes will mount, render, did mount. Okay, that makes sense. Hey Peter, so you're new to Python, you want to know what Django is. So Django is a framework for building web applications using Python. So still need to set my default one. Let's just do set state. this set state. Okay. I mean, I guess I could just do it out here, right? Like I could do recent thoughts dot default. But I guess I don't want props. I want like default state. Let me get rid of that. Okay, bring get initial state as a method. Okay. Maybe instead of constructor. And I'm gonna guess return dots null. Something like that. We're still getting this that this is undefined. Should I be using the James or whoever? Should I be using this syntax with the create class? Or should I be using this syntax with the class whatever? Like, I'm not sure which of those I should be doing. Because when I was doing this one before, I was getting all sorts of problems when I would try and add more than just render into there. Like, it was being very weird. Yeah. Things are being very strange. As Bichewy can attest to. Like, I want to try that. Because I like that one better. Like, it seems like class recent thoughts extends... what was that? Extends component. That seems cleaner, right? And so then get initial state is just like that. And then component will mount is like that. Render is like that. And then I don't need those two things. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that one. Okay, it's still undefined. Get initial state was defined on recent thoughts, a plain JavaScript class. This is only supported for classes created using React.create class. Did you mean to define a state property instead? You didn't see the last error in the console, James. Okay. These are my errors. Get initial state was defined on recent thoughts, a plain JavaScript class. So that's weird. Cannot read property thoughts of null, and that is complaining about this line right here. And then uncaught in promise type error, cannot read property set state of undefined, and that's right here. So, yeah. And I don't have any errors in my actual console. Like, the actual terminal is fine. Terminal doesn't care at all. So anyway, yeah, Peter, I don't know if I answered all of your questions. Django is a web framework, and it's a way to build websites in Python. and it provides a lot of really handy tools that you can use to build your websites faster. So we're using Django to render our template, but we're trying to stick React in here to replicate this part using React instead of using Django. Initialize this dot state as just an empty thing. Okay. It doesn't like that. See, like, I don't get that. How is that? This dot state equals, okay. What about, like, that? Okay, that compiles successfully. Okay. So there's that, but then we still have cannot read property map of undefined. How does it not know what this is? Honestly, James, I'm trying whatever is getting any sort of progress. The class I like better, just because it seems to make more sense. But, you know, if the other one is better, safer, whatever, then I'm definitely happy to do that. Okay, so then here we would do thoughts null. Okay. Cannot read property map of null. This should really just be JSON. And then that should just be data and data. There's really no reason to be doing that another way. Object with thoughts null. Yeah. Right, so we're still getting the same thing there. We just still get, we can't read property map of null. This dot state equals dots null. Okay. Get initial state. Method can be static. Okay, cool. I'm not worried about that at the moment. So component will mount. This happens right before the component mounts, if I understand that correctly. And the component being the larger thing. So then we have this thoughts JSON. We get the response JSON, which comes to here. We table it, which is how we're getting this thing, which if y'all haven't seen that before, the ability to do these is like really handy. But then when we call set state, it doesn't put data into thoughts. Because when we get to here, and we start doing this dot state dot thoughts dot map, we get that this is null. Like it's still holding on to this null up here. Or that null. I'm going to take out this part. Not that I think it matters, but I just want to see what it does. I just want to see if that changes anything at all. Doesn't seem to. Okay. I will put it back, just in case. This dot state as an empty array. Okay. Okay, so we're not getting the can't do the map thing, which that's good. So I don't need this. This get initial state's useless, right? Can you console.log this inside the callback? Yeah. I can totally console.log this inside the callback. And it is undefined. Do we need to hoist this back up into there? I remember in Jim's React thing, there was something about having to do this like binding, but I don't remember what it was. I'm going to look up this component will mount. Component will mount is invoked immediately before mounting occurs. It is called before render. Therefore, setting state in this method will not trigger re-rendering. Avoid introducing any side effects or subscriptions in this method. This is the only lifestyle hook called on server rendering. Generally, we recommend using the constructor instead. Yeah, James, I've got that. Right there on line 28, right? Okay, and then according to the docs, it should be component did mount, not component will mount. So we still have can't read property set state of undefined. And we're still undefined on this. I want to try something here. Console.log this. Refresh. Haha! So that's there. So the this is failing inside the fetch. So I just need to get the data back out of the fetch. Right? So let's just... Where was fetch? Fetch is over here. I want to put fetch into... I didn't do what I wanted. Blah 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 blah. Where was that? I should really do github.com/github/fetch. There we go. Going to div out let this equal this, and then what inside here do underscore this dot set state. Hey, we got progress. Each child in an array or iterator should have a unique key property. Check the render method of recent thoughts for more information. Yeah, so I want to change the API. So that did that, and that did what we wanted. I'm going to look real quick, though. I'm going to see if there's a cleaner way. Because it feels like I should be able to just put that... Put the data somewhere else, right? Like... Should I not be able to just... Right, like... Okay. Should I not be able to do something like this, where I'm like, thoughts is here, and then here I do thoughts equals data, and then here I do like console.log thoughts. So that's undefined, but now if I do thoughts, it's still undefined. All right, whatever. Okay, whatever. It's it's working, and I'm just gonna leave it like that because that works. It just doesn't have the idea, the ID. Okay, so let's go change the ID. That would be thought serializer. Yep, there's those fields. Let's add an ID field. And read-only fields, ID is definitely a read-only field. Okay, so now should have a unique key property. And it does. The key is the thought ID. Oh, do I need to do that in here? No. Right? Cannot read property toString of undefined. Okay, that compiled successfully. Thought is not defined. But we're doing a thought right there. Okay, there's that. Why did that ID not come out? Y'all remember when we were doing this a couple of weeks ago? I thought we had it all figured out. Yeah, that's the serializer. Okay, save. Let's restart our server, just in case. Okay, refresh that. There we go. So that's what was wrong with that. Okay. Whew, I was worried. Where did I put that console.log in? Right there. Okay, so there we go. Notes, 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 notes. We don't actually have any of the stuff in there. Okay, that's fine. So now let's put the stuff in there. Okay, so reload this. Okay, so what I want to do is here I want to render this.state.read recorded at, which that's going to look horrible, but that's fine. Condition display, and then this.state.notes. Okay, so now okay. Root element, recent thoughts, thought, and nothing. Oh, because I have to pull these things out. Right. Or I could just do props.data. Haha! Look at that. That way I don't have to keep going into this whole thing. Okay, so we've got our recent thoughts showing up. So that's really cool. And if we were to now change one of these things, then it wouldn't update live because we're not pushing these things out through like Django channels, but it would be, you know, feasible to pull that away. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this bit because we have replicated that. And now our form is in the wrong spot. We'll have to replicate the form later. And our other stuff here is in the wrong spot. We'll have to replicate that later. But that's pretty cool. That's neat that we've been able to get this stuff to show up. Let's see. Let's do JavaScript date. Date.parse. All right. So I should be able to do like var date equals date.parse this.state.recorded at. Let's console log that real quick. So we are at about 5 minutes out from my usual quitting time. So if y'all would like to ask any questions or anything like that, please start coming up with them now. And let me know what you've got. Invalid date. Okay. Oh, and before I forget, thanks very much for your help, James. If you're still here, Smash Dev. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming in and helping. I don't think I would have been able to guess all that stuff on my own. Just because, yeah, I need to do more research on this, as I'm sure y'all can guess. But that's the cool thing, is we can just play around with it on the streams, and we will eventually get something out. And I think it looks pretty neat when we manage to get something like that. Okay. Oh, your pull request. Yeah, let's check out your pull request. Let's look here. Pull request, fixes and more from Zed. Oh, 11 files changed. All right. I may have to tell you a thing on this that you don't like, but recorded at missing D. Have I been fighting that thing this whole time because I forgot a freaking letter? Fighting it the whole time. Yep, look at that. Thank you, Vinay. All right, so that's not going to get accepted. This violates PEP 8. Forms.validation error. Yeah, so that's a good one. So that one's fine. You brought in a migration that did something. What did you migrate? Company invite, family invite. And some other migration? I've got migrations here, but I don't see what they're migrating, Zed. Because group models, you didn't change anything. Group tags, that violates PEP 8, so no. Hey, Dark Dev, how you doing? It really shouldn't be, yeah. Really, we shouldn't be doing this as a raised HTTP 404. We should be doing this as a, like, return none. But, okay. That's a good one. Could also switch to using arrow syntax. Okay, Smash Dev. Where, like, what would that help me? What would that help me do? No, again, PEP 8. Well, that one could be argued. Oh, Dark Dev, don't start that. Don't even start trying to do stuff like that. Component did mount. Oh, okay. I've seen those, and I've been wondering what that was. So it'd be like equals that, and then that. I'm gonna leave it alone for now because it works as it is. That'll preserve this. Okay, is that the main reason to do it? Just that it's a little smarter about stuff like that. Zed, thank you for your pull request. I'm gonna make sure I've got all my stuff committed and pushed, and then I'll come back to your pull request and we'll figure out what needs to come in, what doesn't. But thanks for submitting that. That's awesome. And I hope I get to see more of those as we go on. But yeah, cool. Yeah, Dark Dev, don't come in talking smack about any language. They're all fine. All the languages are good. And Python is most definitely a powerful language. If it's not a powerful language, I would love for you to explain to me why so many major companies use it. Because obviously it's a useful and powerful language if all these people are going to use it. But the same is true of PHP and C# and C++ and Scala and COBOL and Fortran. All of these languages are perfectly capable and powerful, and there's really no reason to hate on any language, because they're all good. So, alright, I am at the end of my time. It's noon. It's 12 p.m. I have a script I have to finish writing. James knows what this is like. I'm sorry that you're having audio troubles, James. It's very weird, SmashDev, that you're having audio problems on Beam. We need to talk about that, because you were talking about doing some streaming soon, so we need to figure out what's going on there. I'll hit you up on Treehouse Slack after this. But yeah, so I am going to call it quits for today. I will get all this committed and pushed up soon. Thank you all for joining me. As always, it was a pleasure to have all of you here helping and watching. Again, I want to thank SmashDev and I want to thank SmashDev and Chris Huey for helping out on the React stuff. Y'all were amazing and a huge boon for that. So yeah, we've got some React stuff in. We're not done with React, I don't think. I think we'll probably do like one more week on React. Hopefully we'll have a few more things done and in, and we can just do fun stuff. What I want to do is I want to have this form submit and a new thing get added here. Oh, Jonas, I'm sorry you just tuned in. That's, yeah, it's 10 a.m. Pacific time every Friday. If you subscribe to us on Twitch or Beam, you'll get notifications. If you subscribe to us on YouTube and then you click the there's a little plus a little bell that you can click. If you click that bell, you'll get like an email or push alert to your phone whenever we go live. So that way you won't miss any of our future streams, because I'd hate for you to miss them just because you didn't get the time right. So yeah, I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Have fun writing code. Send in pull requests. Thanks, Zed, for yours. We'll go over that some more. So yeah, I'll see y'all later. Have a good night.